Hi everyone, it's Nicole Wilkins with FitnessRx for Women, and this is my next question and answer segment where I took your questions from Facebook and I'm going to answer them for you today. So as you can see, I'm in my car. I'm running around all day today because I leave for Finland tomorrow, so that's why I'm not in my room like usual. The first question I have is, what kind of beginner's advice can you give ladies trying to achieve the Bikini Fitness Pro body? I have been lifting for 3.5 months and love it. And I know it will take more time to get where I want to be, but it's nice to know where people begin. Also, I'm having confusion about carb and fat and calorie intake. I have been all over websites and nothing seems to match. I am 5'2", 112 pounds. Now I know I should take about 112 grams of protein, but I have no idea about carbs and fat. I'm trying to gain lean muscle, and I guess that is where my overall confusion comes in. Thanks if you reply. So, this is a pretty loaded question. In order to get a pro bikini body, you definitely have to have a very strict diet. It takes a lot of work. You've got to have a sound and consistent weight training program. Either if you're trying to gain muscle, maybe do split body parts where you hit each muscle group a little bit deeper, where you're doing 5 exercises for back on back day alone, for example, instead of doing circuits and stuff like that. If you're trying to lose more body fat and get smaller that way and maintain, then circuits may play a role in your training at that point. Cardio is going to be a factor in that as well, but it's easy to overdo that. So make sure that you start at about 30 to 40 minutes, maybe 4 to 5 days a week, and see where you kind of use that as a gauge, where if you're not seeing changes after a couple weeks or 3 weeks, then maybe increase it by 10 minutes or add an extra day. So little changes like that over time, but you must be really, really, really consistent with the diet. So eat 5 to 6 small meals a day every 2 to 3 hours. Make sure you're measuring your foods because portions are important. Even though you're eating healthy, you can still overeat healthy. And I would start with, for your height and weight, I would start with roughly about 16 to 1700 calories and break that into 30, 40, 40 split. 40, 30, 30 split. So you're taking, 30% protein, 30% fats, 40% carbohydrates, and break it up that way. Then you're splitting it into all those 6 meals. So 112 grams of protein divided by 6, and that's how much you should have at each meal. Now you may go over that a little bit, and that's okay as long as you don't exceed 1.5 grams per pound for your size. So hopefully that gives you some guidance that there's so many methods of doing it, and it really becomes something trial and error. But there's no alcohol, there's no bread, there's no sugar like cake and candy. Some people can do fruit, some people can do dairy. You're going to just have to see how it makes you feel and how it makes your body look. There's no condiments aside from mustards and salsas and the natural condiments. Sea salts are fine, but as far as barbecue sauce and teriyaki sauce and ketchup, all that has to go out the door. So it's really hard, but if you want to do it, those are some of the sacrifices you may have to make. The second question is, what does it mean if you don't feel the DOMS after a workout, despite lifting all the weight you can do to failure with new exercises? Was it a waste of time? For those who don't know, DOMS, D-O-M-S, is delayed onset muscle soreness. And no, just because you don't feel sore the next day doesn't mean you didn't have a good workout. It means that your body is recovering efficiently. If you work maybe a little deeper into the muscle, try some intensity techniques like drop sets and supersets. I've shown a lot of that stuff in my Fit Tips. That may increase the intensity of your training and hit the muscle a little deeper, break down those muscle fibers a little bit more, and you may feel a little bit more soreness the next day. But it's not that big of a deal if you're not that sore the next day, but never do the same thing all the time. How do you get rid of the fold under your butt? I'm killing myself for almost 6 months with every butt exercise out there. Such little change in 6 months. Help. I also have a very clean diet. I'm 5'8" and 125 pounds. I think this is a good example of maybe somebody who is under eating. You know, we think, oh, I gotta eat less because it'll help me lose weight, but in fact, sometimes if we're overtraining and we're under eating, that can kind of give like a deflated look to the muscle that you're trying, the muscle all over the body, really. So you have to feed the muscle, kind of fill the muscle up so it gets more fullness and can push against the skin a little bit more, so you have more definition, and it helps with the skin appearance. If you feel like a little bit flabby and a little soft, it may just because you're underfeeding your body and overtraining your body. So I don't know what your diet looks like, but that's going to probably be a huge reason why you may not be seeing the results that you want to see. The next question is a little bit more personal, but do you think implants are a must to compete at a high level? I have noticed all the pros have them, almost. Does it really make that much of a difference to the judges? So I get this question quite often, and I'm going to be completely honest here. I won the Olympia in 2009 without breast implants, and so it is definitely possible. The suit designers are absolutely fantastic at putting padding in the suits for those who compete in figure and bikini and fitness, so you can make it look like you have boobs even if you don't. And it doesn't make a difference if you have fullness to the upper body when you're doing your side poses and stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, it does help because you are in a physique competition and they judge the symmetry of your body. So if you're flat on top and you've got a nice curve to the glutes, it can kind of make you look like a flat pancake. You know, you don't have much curve all over the body. But does that mean that you should go run out and get breast implants? No, I mean, you're not going to be competing forever. And like I said, the suit designers do a great job at making it look like you have them, even if you don't. So can you compete at a high level without them? Absolutely. And the last question is, I probably already answered it in a way, but sometimes it seems like no matter how much cardio or weight training I do, I can't get rid of my stomach. I eat decently, but are there any specific exercises to get rid of the post-children jelly belly baby bump? As far as exercises, I mean, you can do as much ab training as you want, but if you don't clean up your diet, you're not going to see the results that you want to see. So eat decently is probably the reason why you're not seeing the decrease in body fat. So I'd really take a look at what your diet is on a daily basis, maybe write it down in a journal so you can be honest with yourself and you can pick apart what you can change. I know that you know if you look at your diet, there are things that you can eliminate, and that may make a huge difference. So that's all I have for this week. Until next time, keep asking your questions on Facebook, and I'll be here every Friday to answer them for you. Next week, I will see you guys in Finland. So I hope you're having a fantastic day, and keep living the fit life.